The future is bright with PreK and VPK classes at a Pinellas County school near you. Free full-day options are available for PreK3 and VPK. Apply now. Go to pcsb.org/early.
Good evening. We're so happy to have you with us this evening to discuss the ABCs of PreK3 and VPK in Pinellas County Schools. I'm Jennifer Meckler. I'm the Director of Early Childhood Education, and I'm joined by...
Hey, I'm Crowley Baird. Jen, thanks for having me tonight. I'm the Early Childhood Specialist for ESE. Excited to explore some of the exciting things that we have to offer in early childhood across Pinellas County Schools.
Absolutely. Next year's going to be an exciting year. Tonight we're going to cover the early learning programs that are offered in Pinellas County Schools. We're going to give you step-by-step how to apply for a seat and also information on how to apply for a certificate of eligibility through the Early Learning Coalition. And then we'll cover your questions.
All right, well, let's jump right into it. So in Pinellas County Schools, we do have a variety of programs. So tonight we're going to break some of those down and sort of explore with you what your little one might be experiencing if you attend one of our pre-K programs. Our programs are all rooted and grounded in the Florida Early Learning Developmental Standards, or FELDS, as it were. And in our pre-K classes, we cover things such as social and emotional development, physical development, approaches to learning. We like to think about all the different learning styles that children have and the natural wonderings and curiosities that we can tap into to make their experience as real life and as applicable as possible. We also explore a lot of language development, communication, emergent literacy in our pre-K classes, as well as cognitive and general knowledge. Pretty much anything you could imagine we cover in pre-K. Our programs are full-day programs, and we have a lot going on within those days. We do have breakfast, very important meal of the day. We also have the ever-so-popular morning circle time that your kids will be experiencing daily. In that time, they will experience social skills lessons, as well as learning circles and small group instruction. Of course, lunch is another very important part of the day where kids learn how to not only eat in the cafeteria or in their classroom, but also get along with their peers and engage in that type of setting. Also have plenty of outside learning opportunities, learning centers that are really robust in Pinellas County Schools. We try to make sure we're targeting a variety of skills, a variety of topics that make it really fun for the kids and really themed. Our teachers do a great job with that. We do provide rest time and PE and daily reflection and a closing circle. And so that's just a little bit of what your child would experience at a glance if it were a full day in one of our programs.
And that would be across the PreK3 as well as VPK,
Yep,
right?
both programs. So speaking of our PreK3 programs, we do have a PreK3 program in Pinellas County Schools, as well as a voluntary pre-kindergarten program, also known as VPK, for our 4-year-old students. And we do provide services for students 3 to 5 years old who have an IEP in Pinellas County Schools. And we're not going to spend a whole lot of time talking about ESE tonight. But if you do have ESE questions, you can always reach out to our offices and we'll be happy to guide you. So let's break down a little bit of the specs around our PreK3 program. Students are 3 years old on or before September 1st. Those students are eligible to be part of our PreK3 program. It is a full-day program. It's a tuition-based program. Tuition is $95 a week, and there's a $95 registration fee that is applied toward the last week's tuition payment. In our PreK3 program, we do have some schools that offer a free program, and they are listed there on your screen. In our VPK program, or Voluntary Pre-Kindergarten Program, this program is designed to serve students that are 4 years old on or before September 1st. They do have the option for half-day or full-day programs for the VPK program. It's a $65 tuition, $65 registration fee that is applied toward the last week's tuition as well.
And the $65 would only be for the full-day program.
Yes,
the voucher
that is
or the
correct.
certificate of eligibility covers the half-day program. Both of these programs are available across 70 different school campuses for PreK3 as well as VPK.
Some exciting stuff for sure. Other pieces of information that we want to cover with you tonight regarding the VPK program. Something that we would like to share that's very exciting is that families who qualify for free or reduced price meals will qualify for a full free day VPK program for next year.
Yeah, across all of the campuses.
Very exciting for us here in Pinellas County to also announce something very new. I have to give kudos to Mrs. Meckler and her leadership for this. It's an exciting time for Pinellas County Schools employees. Pre-K3 and VPK students will be free of charge for PCS employees at our elementary school sites. Our employees and community preschool sites at Largo and Countryside High schools will offer a discount to full-time PCS employees. So this is something we're very, again, excited to roll out to provide an opportunity for our PCSB employees. Also, a few little things to cover, and you might have to jump in a time or two here because this is a little out of my lane. But we do have employee and community preschools at Little Cougars, which is at Countryside High School, and Little Packers at Largo High School. These programs are unique because they do have extended hours and an extended school year calendar.
A little bit more on the extended hours and the extended calendar. They are open for all of the Pinellas County School work days, teacher work days. So in our preschool days as well as on professional development days, these school programs are open, and they are full day, including what elementary school sites you would have to look at wraparound care. These programs offer that. So they're more of a traditional community school program, but within two of our high schools.
Some more information we would like to share. The Pre-K3 program for these community preschools, the rate is a $125 registration fee that covers the last week's tuition, and then it's also $125 per week thereafter. For the VPK program, it's a $100 registration fee that, again, covers the last week's tuition, $100 per week, and $100 for the first 2 weeks in the extended calendar.
And these programs are also available for our full-time PCS employees at a discounted rate. That information is available on our website.
Just a little bit about the Pre-K Exceptional Student Education, or ESE, programs. So again, students who have an IEP that are 3 or 5 years old, if you're already in Pinellas County Schools, you don't have to worry about anything. We'll guide you there. But if you're not and you're interested in learning more about how to enroll as a Pre-K ESE student, please do not hesitate to reach out to 727-793-2717, extension 2354. My staff, our staff, would be happy to guide you through that process and provide any additional information for students who have an IEP. Okay. Space is limited, so this is very important, and we don't want to make anybody nervous or encourage people to just rush to their computer, but you do want to be mindful about the fact that these are highly competitive application programs and space is limited. In our programs, we do have at least 2 adults in the classroom, and we have before and after care available at most of our schools through the R Club or the YMCA. But it is very important that you attend to the information that Mrs. Meckler is going to go over shortly about applying, because we do want you to be able to participate in this program and get one of those potential seats. Oh. And with that being said, my friend's going to take it away.
So now we're going to talk about how you apply for a seat. Applying for a seat, you would access the student reservation system online through the Pinellas County Schools website. You would need to use the online system to make an application for both the Pre-K3 and VPK programs. First, as a new family involved with Pinellas County Schools, you'll need a username and password. You can go to any school or to a student assignment office with a photo ID to obtain your username and password. If you have another child already in Pinellas County Schools, you can use that username and password to apply for a seat for a younger sibling. After you have that information, some important dates, and as Crowley was saying, the application period, we do need you to apply for a seat if you're interested. It is open now, November 28th through December 14th at 5 p.m. The applications do close at 5 p.m. for this first initial round for the 23-24 school year. You'll go to reservations.pcsb.org to enter the SRS, or Student Reservation System. You'll need to enter the required information as you go through that form, and you'll be able to select up to 2 schools that you're interested in your child attending. It's important to remember that for pre-K, it may not be your child's school for kindergarten. We have 78 elementary schools and offer pre-K programming across 70 of the campuses. So it doesn't have to be your child's owned kindergarten school. Another thing to remember is that transportation is not provided for pre-K programming. And for VPK, you will need to obtain your certificate of eligibility or the confirmation number to complete the enrollment at your child's school for VPK. And this is for anyone attending VPK. While you're applying for your seat, some of the questions that you'll answer will help us with some of the priorities we have in our system. Priorities is given to our current 3-year-olds looking to remain for their VPK year. We do offer professional courtesy, zoned and non-zoned students, as well as a sibling priority. On December 15th, if you have applied for a seat, we will be doing a school messenger phone call to remind you that the application has closed and that on the 16th, you'll be able to log back into SRS to see the results of your application. Friday, December 16th will be the first time you'll be able to log in to see that, but that information will be available through January 13th. In that time period, from December 16th to January 13th, we'll need you to accept a seat. Please know that when you accept a seat in one of the programs, you will come off the wait list if you entered 2 programs, or you can choose to stay on the wait list. After January 13th, any granted seat will be dropped and you will just remain on the wait list for a different program. In February, we will have our late application period will open. We don't have priorities during that application time. The applicants on the wait list from the initial application period will be accepted before late applicants are accepted. And then late applicants are accepted to schools in chronological order. For this first round of applications, it is not time sensitive in that of when you apply during the period. It is a lottery. If it's just important that you apply during the period. But in this late application window, it is chronological order. If you accept a seat in one of the programs that you have applied, it'll be important for you to go to the school between January 23rd and February 3rd. You'll need to take some required documents to the school to enroll. If you have applied for a VPK seat, you will need your certificate of eligibility, or commonly called the voucher, or the confirmation number that you received when you've applied for the voucher. If you do not enroll at the school during the January 23rd to February 3rd window, you will lose your seat. At the school, when you go to register, you will need a birth certificate or other proof of age. Your proof of residency, 2 forms are required: the immunization record, a physical exam by a doctor, and again, the certificate of eligibility for VPK. The certificate of eligibility is obtained through the Early Learning Coalition of Pinellas County. You can't apply for that certificate until January 1st. So after you apply for your seat, and then look at SRS to see where you've been granted a seat. We'll be able to sit back on this for a little bit and wait until January 1st for VPK students for you to apply for your certificate of eligibility. You will need an email account to apply for that. You'll go to the elcpinellas.org. You register for an account and complete an application. That information is available on our early childhood website for VPK, as well as on the Early Learning Coalition website if you need more information on that. When you apply for the certificate of eligibility, you will need to upload electronically these 3 documents: a photo ID, a proof of Florida residency, and the proof of your child's age. Each document must be uploaded separately. You will receive an email notification after the application is reviewed. They have up to 10 business days to review. And as you can imagine, the start of the year is a busy time at the Early Learning Coalition. You'll be able to log back into your account. When you get your email notification, you'll need to print your certificate of eligibility and take that to the school. We do require you have that certificate of eligibility or the confirmation number that you've applied when you enroll during the January 23rd to February 3rd window. More information for the certificate of eligibility can be received from the Early Learning Coalition at 727-400-4411 or again at their website. And then we are happy to help in any way we can as you go through this application process. On the screen, you'll see some numbers for the Early Childhood Education Office for Pre-K 3, for VPK, and on the Pinellas County Schools website, you can find your school zone locator if you're curious of what your zone school is and you're unaware.
Well, we have a lot going on, don't we?
We do. It's exciting times.
It is. It really is exciting. And as Jen said, we are here to help. So we do want to open up for questions. And here at Pinellas County Schools, we do strive in our core values to be connected. That's one of our core values. So in the spirit of being connected and connectedness, we want to hear from you. We want to answer your questions here tonight. But also, as Jen said, don't hesitate to reach out. We have a ton of people standing by to help guide you. It can seem like a lot. It really can. But if you have navigators and guidance, it's really not that hard. But we'll take questions from the Facebook Live group, and we do want to send a shout out to our communications team for helping us pull this event off tonight. It's a great setup. We're the first ones to use this new facility. We're so proud here at Pinellas County Schools. But what questions do we have?
So you have a few questions, and the first one is, if my children are already in Pre-K 3 at their school, will I have a VPK spot for them next year?
Yes, you will. If you are a current Pre-K 3 student, if your child is a current student and you wish to remain at the same school, you don't have to do any of this. You will automatically have a seat in VPK. The only reason you would have to go into SRS is if you wanted to look at a seat in a different school.
Great. Can I only apply for a school in my zone?
No, in Pre-K, you can apply to any program across the district.
What is the difference between VPK through Pinellas schools versus the one offered by a daycare?
Oh, that's a good question.
It is a good question.
You want to take it? I don't mind.
Yeah, go ahead.
So there are similarities, and they both are both connected to the Early Learning Coalition. The FELDs that we mentioned earlier are standards that our community schools who are through the Early Learning Coalition also engage in. We certainly have a great partnership with our community pre-Ks, and we appreciate the work that they do. There are some subtle differences between our programs as well, but all of those specs about our programs are available on the website. If there's a specific question that you have, you can toss that out. But it is still a robust, full, viable day of pre-K instruction here in Pinellas County.
Absolutely.
If I know what school I want my child to go to in elementary for, is that the VPK school I should aim for?
Well, that would be, I understand the thinking behind that question. There is no guarantee from VPK that you will be given a seat for kindergarten if it isn't your zone school. I certainly understand wanting to be connected to a school, and you may want to apply for a seat there, but keep in mind that it is not an automatic move to kindergarten when you attend VPK there.
What are the hours of a full day program?
The hours of full day pre-K 3 as well as VPK would be the school day hours. So this year, 8:45 to 2:55 in most of our schools. We do have schools that function on different time allocations, so you'd have to look at those schools specifically, but mostly it's 8:45 to 2:55.
Once I enroll my student, am I able to switch schools if I decide later that I want my child at a different school?
So that's a great question. The intent is to complete the year where we start. There are things that happen in life. People move, all sorts of things. There's a long list of why you might want to make that decision. The best way, I think, to answer that would be to just reach out to our offices and receive some guidance from our staff, because every situation is a little unique, and there are variables that we can't really predict without knowing the exact scenario. But typically, once you're started in a program, unless there is some sort of event that happens unforeseen, the students remain at that particular school.
I would only add to that if for some reason, whatever the reason would be, that a move was being thought of, it would be space availability.
True,
Just because you're a student at one school doesn't mean that the seat will be available at another school.
That's a good point, because we do have availability at some places, and then other places will be full first day.
Right.
If your child is already in pre-K 3, do you still need to apply for VPK?
No.
No is the short answer, but again, it's no as long as you want to remain at the school you're at. The only reason you would apply is if you want to look at a different school.
Does pre-K 3 need a certificate of eligibility too?
That is a good question, and the answer is also no. That's only for our voluntary VPK programs, our 4-year-old programs. So for pre-K 3, the gen ed programs, no, you do not.
Can 3-year-olds do a half-day option for attendance?
This is a good question. And again, the expectation, the hope, the desire is for the students to engage in a full-day program. That is how we are set up. Now, there are certain things that do impede that from happening, but that's rare, such as students having to be out for therapies, or particularly with ESE students sometimes, which I know we're not talking about, but it's important, I think, to bring it to the forefront, because the lines get a little blurry sometimes, so to clear up any misconceptions. We do not encourage it. We really believe that students need to be in school, and that a full day is the best option for them with their peers. If there are scenarios that need to be worked through, you can work through that with your principal and your teacher at your individual schools.
I would just add to that there is no half-day option,
True.
Tuition-based for pre-K 3. And if a half-day was something that your family felt strongly about in the beginning of the year, we certainly would work with you, but in the hopes of growing their stamina for a full day across the year.
Mm-hmm. And that's a good point, because we do get that question, but it is a full day's tuition regardless.
Mm-hmm.
Is there wraparound care for pre-K 3?
Potentially. So those, as Mrs. Meckler mentioned, through the Art Club and the Y and agencies that we partner with for before and after care, space availability will dictate what slots they have available for that particular age group. So we just encourage people to really begin that quest early and to gather that information and make those phone calls and seek out the guidance you need, because those do go rather quickly. And we don't have an unlimited amount of availability for before and after care with pre-K 3, but it is available first come, first serve.
That's something that you would be able to go onto the school's website that you're looking at to be able to find if there's service through YMCA or our club, and be able to contact those organizations directly to get more information on wraparound care.
If my child is enrolled in a pre-K 3 program, are they required to attend the full-time schedule, or could they go only 3 days a week?
So that's a good question. And with pre-K, compulsory attendance is a little different because we know that is for kindergarten and beyond. But the expectation is if you want to engage in this program is designed for full day, all day, 5 days a week, to really engage in everything that the program has to offer. So, for example, if you were only attending half a day, 3 days a week, there's a significant amount of instruction that you're going to miss out on. So the short answer is no. We would want you there all day, every day, to the maximum extent possible.
There also would be community that's being built in the classroom between the other students and the teacher that your child, I would be worried, would feel out of sync with. So that would be hard, especially when we're talking about a few days a week rather than a half day with the potential of growing into a full day.
Yeah.
How do I enroll in the free pre-K 3?
So enrollment in PreK 3 is the same, going through the student reservation system. Again, we posted the sites that PreK 3 is only available at certain sites, and that was in this presentation. It's also available on our website.
Is the first application round a lottery?
Yes, it is a lottery. So as long as you've applied by 5 p.m. on December 14th, you have the same chance as the person that woke up very early this morning to apply.
And that's so important because that's probably the number one question we get. You do not have to sit up and wait and just really pace the ground for the alarm clock to go off till you can get in. It is not like that. It is exactly like Jen said. It is a lottery, and it doesn't matter if you apply on the first day or the last day. As long as you're within that window, your chances are still the same.
Is there preferences for students enrolled in pre-K 3 already, or for the students that are zoned for the schools you're applying?
Yes. Our data management technicians work closely with the students who are in our pre-K 3 programs, so that if there is a student that is outside of zone, I think this is answering the question, that is looking to get closer or perhaps to the actual zone school, we can work with families for the next year to make that happen. Otherwise, you would just be rolling to your school that you're already assigned at.
Right. And we had answered that a little bit earlier about the pre-K 3. Students that want to remain at the same school automatically will roll, so they don't need to apply. They have a seat there. If that didn't answer that question, please reach out to our department so we can help you.
My child turned 4 on September 20th of 2022. What would I apply for, pre-K or VPK?
So they just turned 4 on September 20th of 2022, which makes them eligible for the next school year for VPK.
So they could potentially apply for the pre-K 3 program.
Right now.
For now.
For this school year, it would be a pre-K 3 student. For next year, which is the application that we're talking about, they would be a VPK student.
Can you please clarify if there is any extra cost for the full day or extended VPK?
I don't know that that a full day VPK is $65 a week tuition. So that would be to have the full day in any of our elementary school programs. The employee community childcare programs, the information is on our website. That price is different. If you were looking at wraparound care through the YMCA or the Art Club, that there would be a cost with that those providers would have to share with you.
Is pre-K 3 free for PCSB employees?
As of now,
Full-time
year.
employees for for next school year,
Yes,
they will be
is.
free.
Last question. What is the attendance policy for pre-K 3 and VPK?
Ooh,
Yeah.
good question.
So for VPK, we are actually held to some attendance requirements through the state. So VPK, Voluntary Pre-Kindergarten, is a state program. So we monitor attendance, and students need to maintain good attendance across the course of the year. Pre-K 3 doesn't fall into the same defined category, but we certainly monitor attendance because we believe that those habits for attending school start very young. So as they're coming to our programs, we want to, and we'll certainly have our school-based personnel work with families to make sure that we have students in attendance as much as we can to get them ready for their K-12 education.
I'll just add, because we do get that question a lot, with pre-K 3, as Jen said, the design of the program is for kindergarten readiness. So the more time we get with you and the more time spent in class, the more hopefully potentially ready we believe that you'll be for kindergarten. So attendance is expected. We do try to mimic, as Jen said, in pre-K3, the K5 and beyond world. So if a student is absent, you'll still get those calls just like you would if you were in a compulsory attendance grade. But of course, we understand little ones, it's different. Their immune systems are developing. They're going to be sick. They're going to have to miss. So it's different, but it's also the same because we want kids in school. We want them engaging in the programs. And the more often they come, the more often they can do that.
Absolutely.
That's all the questions we have for tonight.
Oh, wonderful.
Indeed. We just want to thank everybody truly for spending your evening with us. We've enjoyed it. As we've said, we want to be connected. That's really the purpose of being here tonight, to be with you and to build these relationships because you might be with us for a long time. And these are your first steps. So I think we've thanked everybody, but just real quick, a thank you to the team here and thank you to Mrs. Meckler for inviting me.
Absolutely. It was a pleasure.
Yeah, indeed. Goodbye, everybody.